let us begin. What cultural values do you think are most important to Puerto Rican culture?
To Puerto Rican, I will say family.
Family?
Is very important into the whole cultural component. Like family is number one. Like you don't trust friends a lot of times, and friends eventually become your family too. I will say the music, like the whole music. And festivities are very important, and that includes them with that the food, which is I will say
Obviously
that is,
goes
yeah.
hand
And
in
in
hand.
many cases, not my case because it's not my case, but in many other cases, also religion, like church is very important. Doesn't matter if they're Catholics or Protestant, still religion is very important into the culture.
So could you go further into the celebrations aspect that you talked about?
The celebrations, every day is a celebration in a Puerto Rican family. Doesn't matter what it is, the kids have their tooth out, we are gonna make a party, It's not just the fairy tale, the tooth fairy is coming, it's a big party, the whole family knows. But celebrations are like, festivities are very important. Is the time to get together with the family, to celebrate, to cook together, to be with each other. I don't think in my case and my family is not so much about the presents. It's not about bringing a gift to the person. It's more about spending time together, and that includes like Christmas and Thanksgiving. And it's not just Christmas. It's not just one day. It starts from like the 24th all the way to Three Kings Day, and then if you are actually in Puerto Rico, goes another 8 days. So living here, we lost some of the celebrations because they're not that important. But like Three Kings, I still celebrate Three Kings with my kids, and they're older, and they still have to do the grass for the kings. I have to adapt the day because I didn't like my kids missing school. But we adapted the day, and they were able to celebrate. But we celebrate all the holidays from the United States plus our own holidays and any other holiday that someone wants to bring.
All right, so that sort of moves into our second question. What cultural differences have you noticed the most since moving here that are either not present or in Puerto Rico or are different?
You mean my changes from it, or the culture, the American culture
The
versus
cultural differences.
Okay. I want to say the main differences that I notice is harder here for me to make friends. Like that whole Puerto Ricans are very touchy feeling. So if there is a hug, there is a kiss, there is that personal touch when you meet someone. Doesn't matter if it's the second time.
Yeah.
Here you don't have that. That was a big
Here it's
shock.
more like hi
Hi.
from a distance.
So that was a big shock for me. In my case, I made the decision very early when I moved here to learn about the American culture, and I appreciate the American culture, not to enclose myself just in my Puerto Rican culture and not learn. So that would be the first one. The other big one that it was for me, it was the way, the stereotype, but also it is true, the way in the Puerto Rican family, the kids stay in touch longer with the parents after they're 18. They stay in the home. It's typical. Here, not anymore. That's changing in the United States. But here, when I first moved, I will see all these kids living at 18. And it's like, okay, but where they're going, they're just going to college. Why they don't stay with the family?
Ever since the 50s, there's been this push of the nuclear family where it's not acceptable to have extended family in one home.
Yeah. The other thing that is a big cultural shock for me is that the Puerto Rican culture is a groupal culture, so that we do everything together as a family, as a group, and here is more
individualistic
culture. And that was a big shock for me, especially when I see with my job that I'm a volunteer manager, seeing my elderlies being by themselves. When in Puerto Rico, you see always the grandparents with the grandkids and taking care of them, and here I don't see that much. So that the individualism culture, it was a big shock. Now I'm like, I tell my kids I have been able to mix both and get the best of both, but that was a big shock. Seeing that.
All right. So you said about family groups being the most important. How far does that extend?
For me, for my family?
For you, yes.
For me is my kids. So that's my immediate family, my husband and my 2 kids. And then from there goes to my mom and my in-laws. And then my sisters. Then I have 4 sisters. My husband is an only child. So the 4 sisters, but that also includes their in-laws. And then some of the cousins that live around here. Most of my cousins do live in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Actually, all my aunts and uncles, they do live in Puerto Rico. So it's only here. My mom lives here. So that will be probably the extension of our family. And my husband has a few cousins here. But pretty much we tend to stay with the kids, my mom, and my sisters. That's pretty much our closer circle.
All right. So what aspect of Puerto Rican culture has influenced you most as an individual? Whether it be food, music, art?
Music.
Music?
Yeah.
Can you go further into that?
Music. My favorite music is and will always be the bomba, which is the national music. It's very the bomba. I will say the plena bomba is pretty much what country music is here, which plena bomba always tells story. And is a lot of, I don't know how to say the instruments, but it's about like pleneras and the congas and all the stuff, and it's more into you're talking to the people about what happened, like the hurricane when the lady left the guy, and all the stuff. So music is probably what keeps me more in touch with my
culture.
Food now, because the food it's not the healthiest, so I have adapted my food.
Well, welcome to the U.S.
Yeah.
We're not much better.
Yeah, no, but I have learned how to eat a much better than the typical Puerto Rican family. So food, yes, is important, but it's not what keep me connected. It's the music and the art. I love the Puerto Rican art. I love their artists. So I will say those are the main things.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Anything you have in mind that you'd like people to know?
Besides that, we are citizens and we're not immigrants. No, I'm just kidding. Don't add that into your.
That is recorded. I'll have you know.
No, that's fine. It's a joke because.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to say, Puerto Ricans are very passionate for what they believe and what they are, and one of the biggest, probably one of the biggest issues or controversies that Puerto Rican have, besides the other Latinos don't have, is that having the rights, let's put it that way, of being citizens. We don't want to lose who we are. And it's not any difference from, I always said it's not any difference from these Italian Americans, that they're so proud of being Italian Americans. So I think it's just a mix of cultures that Puerto Rico have. Because when you talk, like my family is from Portugal, my husband's family is from Spain and France. So I'm sure there's some cultural that came down, even if it is 4 or 5 generations down. So we're not any different from the mainland Americans. We're still Americans, just we have another language and probably another type of music.
A bit more like communal culture, I've noticed as well.
Yeah. So we're very passionate. We're hard workers, and I think one of the main things with Puerto Ricans is they're very proud of who they are and what are their roots.
Okay. That'll be all for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought it was going to be longer.